Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
Hello and welcome back to NOM taking on NASR. We are here for what could be, would be, and will be the final map on Inferno, the decider for the best of 3 series. We've made it all the way to 3, and let's see what's going to be happening here. As NASR started out on the T side, they've had a couple struggles when it's come to the Terra side, but certainly didn't shine through on the previous map. It does too, but when we were an overpass, their tactics caused them a couple problems, although they've always walked away with the pistol round victories here. Let's see if that's going to follow through once more, as they've already found themselves an opening kill. And they will make their way towards the B bomb site. That nade is really good, though. Nami down to 50 HP with 1 USP bullet connecting 2. Now, NASR does spend a lot of utility, and almost all of it, leaving 1 smoke on Breaker and a frag grenade in play for Havoc, as they will fake out B and make their way towards A very quickly. Not really selling it too well, though, as there's still 2 players towards this bomb site, and Hydraz is caught in the open, able to find 1 kill, but nothing more past that. Breaker creeping up behind will catch Nerds reloading in the apartments and eventually connect the kill. Could have been a little bit awkward, but now into a 2 versus 4, this should be very quickly dealt with, as I don't imagine a whole lot will be going on through. Nade goes down nice and deep, but doesn't land all too much, but it's a 2v4 nonetheless, so it doesn't really matter. The nade damage would have been nice to have, but I think at this point NASR should have this locked down. NOM trying to play for some exits, get a little bit of damage towards the arm of their opponents, and Inferno pretty wants to save this CZ. Realistically, they weren't going to be winning that. And now they've got to focus towards the future rounds. The next one, it would be nice to see a little bit of damage come through from them. And although we've seen them on the CT side after they've lost a round, the pistol round, go for the eco, I think this is where we could definitely see a 4 spy coming through. Sure, Inferno's already got the CZ saved over, but even in general, it's very, very likely on Inferno that you see teams take a 4 spy. There's just so many close range angles, and it's so favorable towards the weaker weapons on the close range duels. I think the statistics for 4 spies, it's like twice as likely to see a team force when they've no money on Inferno. Very situational, of course. It does depend at what stage they're at and who they're against, but by and large, teams do prefer to 4 spy here. Aggression towards B, which certainly will help the CTZ a little bit, or usually does. Nice nade going through. Damage isn't too significant towards the CTs, but B took just 11 damage, but NASR have fielded a whole lot. KitKat, Breaker, and Nami already down to very easy kills to be connected. That flashbang is going to give away Hydraz's position. I don't know if I agree with throwing that there, especially not at that angle. You're very unlikely to catch anybody off with it because it's in the air for so long. Oh no, Nerds! He caught them by surprise. KitKat still walks away with the kill though, as he misses every single P250 shot onto a 34 HP opponent. That is a big yikes. Buse bailing on out of there. Deagle in play for Zenser, doesn't connect much, and I think saving these weapons is the only call. I was going to say it could be difficult, but NASR kind of backed off towards their CT aggression and instead just want to commit towards saving for the most part. They've got 1 player hunting down. Oh, it will be difficult to save because Havoc gets in there with a second left and finds both kills. The Mac 10 in play for him. He didn't care if he lost it or not. And he walked away with a very, very strong spot economically. I mean, that's really weird, though, to see the round go so heavily in favor of NASR after the util usage being so efficient. They had 2 nades towards Banana, which I think probably did about 250 damage between them. 714, yeah, probably about that. Now NOM shouldn't be doing much here. I mean, they've only got a couple pistols to play with. Havoc's got a Mac 10. He should tear them apart. Absolutely destroy them. Nertz this time hits the shot with the P250, though. So at least somewhat of a positive start. Havoc's got his back turn and gets dropped in middle. What is going on? So a bomb plant in a 5 versus 3. NOM having all the advantages. Oh, God, Nertz is making up for the previous round. What is this? Like, what's happening? We talked about the force buys and the win percentage of them, but... I mean, hello? 2v4. Shots connected for... Oh, no, they lined up. It's an easy spray down for Nami to find 4 kills on the board. And in a round like this, normally you don't care about 4 kills, but on 4 HP at the end, that could have gotten very awkward if he didn't come out with those big kills, those big frags. Now 3-0, but NASR have definitely been fighting for them. There's been no shortage of opportunities for NOM to at least get around on the board on the CT side, and now they get the full buy through. This is where I start to believe a little bit more, despite many opportunities that were, let's say, thrown by the wayside. We'll stop. Let's forget about the past 3 rounds. They've been very awkward. I think NOM would rather erase those from history. Maybe not the last one per se, in terms of overall damage. Statistically, they did a lot more than they should have, but I felt like they could have definitely closed that out. Moving over, Nami's opening it up, but not actually. He's trading it back because Inferno's already found one. Closed in on the AWP, though. He's caught in the corner. Nothing he's going to be able to do there. Bomb plant goes down. Retake 3v4. Man disadvantage. I mean, NOM are not looking like the team we saw in map number 1 at all. Shot by Bew, lands the kill, and we're into a 3v3, but the time isn't on their side. I don't want to see the CTs going for this. Risk-reward wise, they can't really afford to lose these weapons, especially not if they want to go for the force on 2 more players. I mean, look, Bew and Nertz can drop P250s. Just buy armor, you won't be that heavily affected by it later on, if they want to. And the M4s still have a lot of potential to close this out. Oh, sorry about that. Had to dip out to take the jacket off. It's one of those days you don't know if it's too hot or too cold. Take it off, you're too cold. Put it on, you're too hot. So, it's going to be changing all night. It's fine. So 4-0. Let's take a look at what's going down. NOM haven't got a lot of money. They've gone in for the force buy here, dropping over the weapons to their teammates on the back of saving 3 rifles. It was pretty easy to do so. But it does definitely put them in a bit of an awkward spot for later on rounds. This is really awkward indeed. Kazoo noses a player towards the pit and lands the second shot. And again, NOM, within just a couple of seconds, they lose a bomb site. This time, no kills to go through. And although Nertz picks it up on the Havoc and Bew on the Breaker, you're still in the 3v3, low HP on Bew and KitKat, but Bew coming in for the push is in the more exposed position. Smoke goes down towards short, allowing Kazoo to have a little bit more freedom to peek out. But NOM's still playing towards B. This is evidently going to be a save. I mean, I say that, I'm a little bit scared. Nertz is sticking around. He's going to try to find an exit. Could be worthwhile as he takes out KitKat, peeks towards the pit. This is not... That's so risky. You don't want to lose that weapon here. It's just not worth it. One player does die to the bomb at least. That's Nami going down, thanks to a little bit of damage done to him. So it's somewhat of a positive. But if he gets dropped there, it's going to hurt the CT side much more than it's gonna hurt the Ts. I mean, NASR have a lot of money built up. Even if you manage to kill both players in the pit, they won't feel that pinch nearly as much as you will if you lose that 1 AUG. It's going to bite you down to, like, a lot less money. You can see already you've got a player with no money for the next round, so it could be amplified even further. But let's move off that point. As we move towards a 5-0 scoreline, this is where NOM need to step it up. I mean, their CT side has not been looking too good so far, as NASR have woken up massively. They claim an entry towards the B bomb site and are starting to close in on it, at least apparently. There's 3 of them there, but we do see a little bit of a rotation down. Bomb's going to be dropped in banana. Sound cue made, but it's not heard, so it's okay. The push towards the B-bomb site could be scary. Hydres is boosted up, but more importantly, Inferno is here to try and get damage done. He's going out with a nade. What kind of peek is that? That is a crazy risky one. He manages to make it away, not doing a whole lot of damage for the risk that he took, but after spotting them out, NASR have decided, you know what? We've been spotted. They know we're here. Let's move a player towards A. Let's throw some utility. Let's throw a single smoke. I don't know if that's going to do too much. You're not going to drag rotations for a single smoke. Do they know Hydres is here? Yes, they do. They spotted him. He finds 1, a second on the board. The spray down almost good for a third with Havoc on 4 HP. This is definitely a plausible retake, and I think NOM are definitely going to go for this. Potential is rampant, but watch out because Havoc is up claw. No, they've not checked him. Up close and personal, finds a kill. Zenser is thinking about swinging around here. He's waiting for Breaker to take a peek. At least he's hoping that Breaker will. If he pushes through that doorway, the trade should be instantaneous. Havoc swings out, though. And that gives a little bit of an opportunity here for Zenser to do it. If he goes on and fakes that, checks the right angle as he does, this could definitely go his way. Breaker's playing it super passive. Hears him go towards the bomb. Wins the aim duel. Just about with a wallbang headshot to finish it off. But still landed. And it's 6-0. A position that puts NASR in a spot I didn't expect to see them in coming into this. I'm going to be honest. Starting on the T side, I felt like that should have been the end of it. In the previous round, NOM had all the advantages to play with. It looked like they were going to close it. Indeed, there's been at least 3 rounds so far that I would argue NOM should have won. But at the end of the day, NASR are pulling off these clutches. They're the ones that are winning out in the late round positioning. They're the ones that are winning out in the duels and the trades. But more so, I would argue it's just the faster plays. They've abandoned all notions of their crazy strategies. You know, they're not overthinking things right now. They're just playing towards their own strengths as individuals, moving as a unit. Individuals in a unit instead of a unit attempting to do some 500 IQ stuff. Right now, I mean, it's hard to even project what NOM need to do better. And just looking at it, I guess early around their setup is a little bit frantic. You saw just there they were pushed heavily towards short, which is a little bit risky. Sure, they throw down a little bit of util, but the fact is, if that was a straight A push, they'd be in a lot of trouble, and that's what they've suffered from again and again. Zenser gets aggressive in apartments. As the third player comes towards the A bomb site, obviously they had the early stack to B, hoping that it would be maybe a B rush or a little bit of early aggression. So they lose a player there. Upgrading the SMG over to the AUG. So they're only losing an SMG, but that is still an extra player and a man advantage for NASR as they begin their push towards the B bomb site. A little bit of miscommunication there. Nami wasn't sure where the guy was. But pushing them back off of Banana, they want to re-peek towards A and find some info. Hydres is so lucky to get out of there alive. Nertz was covering, but eventually going to be eliminated as he sticks around a little bit too long. Maintaining the same angle. Okay, Nami doesn't think there's anyone B, but finds out pretty quickly there is. That was the most unusual bunny hop I've ever seen in my life. Hold W and jump. Not quite how it works, Nami, but, you know, you'll get there someday. As Infernal, or Lan Refney, as he's also known. Is going to be 1v2 with low HP. He's obviously going to save. Like, I really don't feel it's a matter of a tactical prowess for NASR right now. I feel like they are just throwing themselves towards these guys. And obviously semi-calculated, but they're not doing crazy executes. They're not finding themselves, you know, faking out bomb sites and walking into open waters. You don't generally walk into open waters. That would be a bit of a tragedy. Open waters are very far away from the land, so walking in there would you'd die. So I guess maybe not walking. Sailing into open waters. Let's put it that way. But I feel like the issue right now is NASR have woken up. They've abandoned, like I said, all hopes of playing the 500 IQ strats. Instead, they're just coming into this and going muscle to muscle. Playing it as a team. Starting to maneuver a little bit more as a unit. And it's tangible, you know. They're finding trades in positions where they lose a player. Like just there in the previous round, Nert's up on the balcony. He sticks around a little bit too long. He stays there trying to take fights. And he's very quickly dropped after just one kill. Now, previously, that wasn't the case. Think back to Overpass. NOM were finding a kill, bailing out of there. No problem. Now they seem almost scared to take aggression. Look towards Banana. Bu's spotting it with a nade. Now, look, they've got the pistols in place, so they do kind of need to rely a little bit more on baiting their players in. But even in the previous round, it seems like it's a lot slower in general, the CT side. The aggression. Oh my god, Nert's beautiful with the pistol. He gets flashbang, but it doesn't really matter. You've got the AWP on Inferno watching middle as well, and this is a big recovery from NOM. Those opening kills going their way changes the tide completely. Into a 5v2. And look, we talked about these force buys as well. They're much more realistic to see coming through on a map like Inferno than any other. As KitKat opens up B, though, perhaps never mind, eh? I was going to say an opportunity to recover the round, to bring it back over into their favor. If he found that kill in CT, they got a smoke down on the cross from Breaker, they'd get a bomb plant, but I'm going to venture and say he's not going to do it, and I can't even get the words out, and he's already dead. 7-1. The Brazil comes through in the Middle East, and let's see if it's going to end in favor of the Brazilians. Brazilians scoreline. As NASR, who are, just to clarify, not Brazilian, nor do I think they're Brazilian. I've got a huge lead on the T side. It's a completely different situation than what I had anticipated coming through. Two opening kills come through for the T side as KitKat takes down Hydres and Bu. They're going to make their way over towards B, and indeed the smoke on the cross is going to allow them to get there. The problem is there's no bomb with them. They still have smokes to re-smoke the cross as they get there. Oh, it's not the worst spot in the world, at least. They're coming on over. They pop a flash over, a smoke as well. There should be no picks for the AWP on the cross. They have not popped the smoke down. They've decided to just go for it. To hell with smoke in the cross. We're just going to plant. Fair enough. It works. I don't think it's worth risking, you know, it's only $300. Get that smoke down, but whatever. It's cool. Sensor's trying to save over, not able to get it either. And all five players surviving for NASR. I mean, this is hard. This is hard to imagine a way back in for NOM right now. Look at the economy for the T's. It's building up. Even with the reinvestment into this round, Nami's the only player that would really take a hit if they lose this round, and that's if they don't get a bomb plant. And consistently, they've managed bomb plants almost every round. Nom come in with a double op setup, so changing it up a little bit, seeing if that's maybe going to be the difference maker. Oh, gotta be careful. No, don't no-scope it the second time it hits, though. Even with the nade damage going through, Inferno's going to be able to bail out of there. And the thing is, getting out with the AWP, he's able to post up, long range, take some fights on the players that are unsuspecting and that are going to find it hard to hit him, as he's got a scope, so he can see them from much further away. Push coming over towards the A-bomb site, sees Nertz take the fight with the AWP, and although he opens it up with one, the second is proving a little bit more difficult to obtain. As he's unable to land it, Kazoo comes in with an even further kill, and a Zenser, the spray down, connects a second. He doesn't see the player coming out of apartments. So although he manages to find 2 kills, the bomb plants should be obtained by Havoc here. As he retrieves the bomb, goes to the bomb site, and will plant pretty safely. He knows the apartments should be clear as well as short, so it's a relatively safe plant. Molotov towards long, and this indicates he's still towards the bomb site. Pew now knows he's not in pit. Calls that information towards his teammate, and now they'll be able to push on forward, looking towards the correct angle. Havoc, though, is getting a little bit frisky, a little bit froggy for any Key and Peele viewers here. He's making his way towards short. Going to creep up behind them and attempt to catch them by surprise. And as you can see right now, that should work. They're not checking it. As he creeps on forward. Oh no, the smoke goes down. That means that he's going to have to spam through this, and he can't even find the first kill as Hydra starts to get a little bit skeptical. Spidey senses are tingling, and he realizes that he could be coming from short. Catches him off guard, finds that kill, and now it's 8-2. I don't think this is the worst spot in the world. Look, NASR at the moment, they've obviously got a huge advantage in terms of T-side rounds. But we've consistently seen problems for NASR on the T side, and recovering it here. So look, we saw Dust a little bit of a recovery on their T side in general. So I put that down to the fact that it's less tactical. When they came over here, that they would suffer a little bit more, just like they did on Overpass. That's not the case. We're seeing a much better side from NASR, both on the terrorist and just in general. They seem more structured, while simultaneously less structured, if that makes sense. It's the mid-round that was really their problem before. That said, so far they haven't really been tested mid-round because of how they've been approaching it early. They've been going faster, they've been finding kills, and so they haven't had to worry at all about what happens afterwards. On Dust 2, it was a similar situation as we saw Nami just consistently finding those opening frags. But who's here to open it up for them now? As we come into round number 11, a full buy once more for NOM. They've managed to upgrade at least one AK, and they've got an AWP in play as well. As Bu takes that AK-47 and eliminates Breaker, he's going to look for a repeat here, and Kazoo pushing on forward. He's spotted out, swings around left side, and catches him off guard. Another frag to be obtained, and the split towards CT, as NASR were looking to take the B bomb site, isn't looking all too plausible anymore. Hydres has his back turned to CT, and that indicates that maybe he's not aware that Havoc actually pushed all the way through. It looks like indeed he's not, and oh no! He just about manages the second kill. Well, the second player that he shot at, but not landing the headshot onto the first is a little bit unfortunate. Look at the position right now for Nertz! No! Misses the shot! Nami finds that kill, and with that into a 2v2. The problem is, look at where they're going to be retaking from. NOM are going to be coming into long-range angles. KitKat knows exactly where both players are now. He's heard them. He's ready for the peek coming through from Bu, who checks the angle, but only subconsciously. Flicks away from it almost instantaneously without really realizing that KitKat's there. And although he gets taken down, Nami's got that up. He's trained in on short, and you know Inferno's going to be pushing around that corner quite quickly, but 13 HP left as it's only going to be a wall bang. The no-scope from Nami. That's a ballsy play considering he knows that he'd already hit him, but it works out. 9 rounds on the board. NASR again pulling ahead. And 2 very awkward engagements in that round. I mean, it's certainly an entertaining match, we'll put it that way. With 9 rounds on the T side, it's hard to imagine a way that NASR throw this away. I mean, realistically, this has been one of their best maps. I mean, so far, we've only seen NOM take on the team, the Lebanese team called Italy. Makes sense. And that was a 16-14, but NASR, on the other hand, have played here, and they've consistently been winning it. They've even beaten Boot 16-14, just about pulling out the victory against them, and a pretty strong team. Boot, obviously, one of the only teams I recognize from the past games of NASR, and beating them on Inferno is definitely a feat to be proud of. So it's consistently been a strong map for them, and it's definitely proving to still be that way. Nice shot by Zenser, taking Kazoo out. with the Deagle. The Scout in apartments, interesting setup. Doesn't quite work as he pops on up. He spots out that Havoc's there at least. That info does cost him his life, but even still. NOM knows there's at least a player towards the A-bomb side, and so potentially another AK-47 to be picked up. Nertz is left alive, 1 versus 4 though, as his teammate falls towards the bottom of middle. He had control over the bomb, but no longer. And with the Mag 7, even if he does get this peek onto Havoc, and even if he did catch him off guard, at that kind of range, you cannot expect him to win at that duel. They've still got control of B, so obviously the rotation comes over there. And now I think the best idea for Nertz, go down towards second mid, try wrap around behind and find the bomb. But he has, or the bomb rather, the AK-47 that was dropped, but he has literally no information to play with. He has no idea if there's a player still going to be around A in second mid apartments, or bottom middle where we saw Havoc previously was. So he's got to take it cautiously. And that's going to be it. The round over. Not too much to be said there. I think NASR on 10 rounds right now, I mean, it's almost time to call time of death on this. What are NOM going to be able to do? They're about to swap over to the least favored side with potentially only 2 rounds on the board. I mean, so far, I definitely wouldn't be confident in saying that they'll get any more because NASR have looked dominant in every single one of these buy rounds. Except for the one where NOM just about pulled it off with the defuse. But even still, that was a 1v2. It wasn't the most repeatable of rounds. It relied on multiple kills coming through early on and claiming the advantages. So the Mag 7 in play for Nertz. He's going to be caught on the Molotov, bailing on out of there, smokes it. Okay, Hydrez gets one on the spam through the smoke. You got to respect it. Jump peeking. Nertz is not going to be having a great time as he gets lit down very low. Again, going to be peeking through, trying to catch them with the Mag 7. Lucky to actually survive that. He was being spammed by an AK. With 8 HP, that's a very easy kill to even land just by luck. I wouldn't say easy kill, but definitely plausible for luck to come through on your side. The push towards A, though, is going to see the majority of players on the CT side here. So this could be scary for NASR. They're walking right into the best defended bomb site. An AWP and an AUG already spotted as they come up close. Is going to be Nertz. He's landed... How's he landed 3? It's taken 3 shots with a Mag 7 at that range to kill. He must have been aiming at their feet. But into a 1v4. I don't think Kit Kat's going to be feeling all too confident about his abilities here. But obviously with the money, he's going to go for it. Got to give it a shot. One v 3, 25 seconds on the clock, going for the bomb plant on the site. And I think should be fairly successful, especially with the smoke down. They'll find it difficult to even successfully spam him down, giving away a lot of information to him. This could be a huge clutch if he can find it. He's already got one on the board, sees one towards balcony, but not able to land it. Nertz on 9 HP escapes with his life. And we will see Bu defusing the bomb, giving a 3rd round over to NOM. Again, just a 1v2 clutch that went their way. Ten to 3. 2 rounds left to go. I mean, even at this point, if NOM pick up each and every one, it will be a hard-fought battle to get back on top of the scoreboard. But let's not stop believing just yet. They start out with a double-op setup, and Nertz is going to be the one to open it up towards middle. As the round progresses a little bit further, now NASR are on the back foot, where they found it quite hard to recover from in the past. One of the main things that's been swinging so well for them is the fact that they are consistently finding openings. At least in the rounds they're winning so far in Inferno. As they pull out, Kit Kat's able to take down Infernal, who didn't think anybody was going to be up that close just yet. Evidently, though, you're a little bit wrong. The 4v4 sees a two-man defense on B about to be tested heavily. As Hydrez holds down on the coffins, you're also going to see Bew towards the back. He's going to drop a flashbang, allowing Hydrez to take a peek out. Oh, the shot's not going to be connecting, though. And that could cause a lot of problems. NASR know where he is now. Oh, another flashbang through. Hydrez not able to connect on it. Eventually finds one, but he's going to be dropped forward, and the trade's going back and forth. Leaves Kazoo all alone. He's going to go for the bomb plant, and this should be the end of him as the smoke's already dissipated towards CT. Lands the kill, though, on Inerts. Going again. Kazoo with a fake plant. Does Zenser fall for it? Yes, indeed he does. Crouch peeking, but hold on. Now Kazoo surely going to stick it with 12 seconds left. Zenser doesn't know that, though. Still plays passive, expecting it to still be a fake. Peeking in towards Banana. Spots him out, but Zenser's got the angle with an AUG, and the scope prevails. A fourth round on the board for NOM. to 4. NOM. At least they managed to get the previous round on the board. But it's going to be a rough one. Attempting to pull this back with, look, one round to go. You're talking about the pistol round on the T side going their way. Probably the first buy round as well. Then they can close in the distance. And we've seen them have pretty good T sides before. So it is possible. That's for sure. NOM on the A-ball. Look at this. They're being completely surrounded at the moment. Zenser and Arya Stark, a.k.a. Nertz. He's going to see if he can perform some assassinations, though. Watch out, Breaker. You're going to be taken down. Nertz keeps going. A third is narrowly avoided. This could get a little bit awkward. Luckily, Kazoo does go down. Zenser's quickly dispatching him. Here's the players on short as well. They're both low HP. So let's hope it's going to be very easy kills to be connected on the AUG. Spots the bomb still out in the open and is ready for someone to then come in through the apartments. We're already going to see Havoc moving towards. Flashbang from his teammate doesn't grant him any further information except for the fact that the bomb has been retrieved. And with the fact that the bomb is now gone, they could definitely suspect it to be B. You can see Bew already rotating over, but the fact that they've spotted Havoc out here, watch out for Kid Cat. Luckily, he's taken out very quickly. Low HP, so the spray down was very easy to connect. He only needed one bullet to land, and he was gone. Now as we swap over on the half, it is 10 to 5. And a position that I don't think you're really going to want to be playing from, starting at your T side with a 5-round disadvantage. I mean, it's already difficult enough to play from. The third map, as you can see, is now starting to swing over in favor of NASR. If we end up there... Sorry, we've already ended up there. What am I talking about? But NASR definitely looking like the favorite team, according to the odds. If you can guess the total rounds going in their favor. I think at this point, realistically, NASR 10 to 5. Okay, let's paint a picture. How are they going to lose this? Well, they have to lose the pistol round. That grants NOM then up to maybe 7 rounds if NASR don't force buy. If they do force buy and then that round is won by NOM, we can see a 10 to 8. But even at 10 to 8, NASR have a massive advantage. They can make, consistent force buy, so the economy matters. I say this very loosely, but the economy matters less on Inferno for the CT side than it does on any other map. Because you see a higher win rate on force buys and a higher rate of force buys. So, I mean, statistically, it could be argued that it matters less. But again, I say that very loosely. Any team has better win rates with rifles than with pistols. That's a fact. That's maybe not a fact, but, it's a by and large rule of thumb. So we just saw a peek come out there that was incredibly risky. Kazoo was being pushed down, and he swung out with, I believe, his weapon in his hand. But he could have been rushed down by Glocks there, and that would have been really scary if 2 to 3 players swung on him. It would be hard to find those shots before the Glocks completely tear you apart, especially as he has no armor to play with. Talking about that, we've seen NASR swing over towards 2 players without armor. Kazoo taking primarily utility with Breaker on a kit and a smoke. The smoke of Kazoo is the one that's going to be tested first, though. As the utility comes over, he drops it to try and stop them pushing forward. A little bit of team damage going down there as Inferno's going to be on 50, pushing through the smoke. Nerds picks up one onto Kazubi. You got to be careful towards the back of the bomb site. Kit Kat was starting to frag. Not able to get too much else done, though. And with that, NASR have to retake Nerds' up close swings out on a distracted Nami, who was being cautious of that angle, but eventually taken down as he had to take a little bit more of a long-range fight. They know Nerds is up close, but again, just waiting for his teammates to take a fight with them and then swinging out works pretty effectively. (10-6). NOM went out the pistol round. And this is what we talked about as being something that we expected and definitely wanted to see coming through from them. If NOM didn't win this round, then that could have been very scary in the sense that NASR would consistently build up a lead. They'd probably be up. I mean, you wouldn't expect NOM to force buy. So it would most likely be a 12-5 lead. But as we come in here, the force buy for NASR is something we definitely did expect. As we said, higher rated force buys on the CT side, and as the push comes up towards top middle, Inferno's able to dodge that flashbang, which looked like it was on the screen, but must have just about been behind one of the pillars. As Zenser over towards Banana picks up one, you've got 2 players left to defend this A bomb site. Trying to take long-range fights with the pistols gives at least a little bit of an opportunity for Nami to connect some kills. Body tag goes through, allowing Havoc to very quickly finish Hydrez off. And it is still scary enough to make a push towards that A bomb site. That's why NOM are starting a rotation. They're looking for B. They know there's 2 on the site. Now they know B is completely clear. Very quickly going to make their way over. And okay, Havoc. Nice shots connected onto the head of Nerds, retrieving another weapon for him. This time, though, the weapon's a little bit more valuable. It is an AK-47. Given over to Havoc, who has armor. And you do have to be careful, because Zenser's here, and they weren't expecting him. Although Nami quickly dispatches him with the scout in hand. He's looking for some more ranged duels, although at this point I would prefer to see him just save that AK over. And indeed, he's going to decide to save that AK. Definitely the correct call in this situation. So, 10-7. NASR starting to fall behind a little bit, but as we look towards this round, you know, they've got the force buy. They didn't win it, so like we said, 10-8 most likely to come through. We kind of went through the first couple rounds and how they should play out or would maybe play out. What's going on there with auto? Are you cool auto director? There we go. Oh, no, we're not cool. All right, well, I guess I'll do it. It's cool. Whatever, Valve. I'll do your job. You know, a 2 versus 3, AK again in the hands of Kit Kat, retrieved from his teammate's body. I think it's definitely better to save this over and bring it through to the next round. Obviously, no point in Breaker saving. He's only got a P2000. You don't need one of those in the next round. Matter of fact, even if you drop your P2000, you'll spawn with it in the next round anyway, as long as you don't pick up another pistol. So literally, he's worthless right now. Well, he's worth something to the T's, at least. If they manage to kill him, they'll get $100. There you go. Why not? They're very cheap hitmen. I think in general, it's something around the region of 10K to get someone whacked. But right here, they're doing it for just 100, so that's all good. Let's take their SMGs out. Then it's more like reasonable. So an 8th round on the board. NOM, this is where they should face a challenge. Provided Kit Kat saves that AK over, he can... Oh, see, he has to buy armor. That's the real problem for him. Otherwise, he could drop an op, but Havoc can avoid head armor, which is perfectly fine to do in this situation, and take an AWP then. But in... No. Nami's bought the op glass cannon, and Havoc's taken an AUG with head armor. I really don't like that. It's such a small detail. But if Nami now gets hit by, like, Nerds, obviously he's one-shot headshot, same as Havoc would be without the armor, but also he's not going to be able to hit anything if he gets hit in the body. Kit Kat's further back. Oh, he gets burnt alive. He was standing inside the Molotov. I didn't even notice he was in the Molotov there, so that must be frustrating for him. They all line up for Breaker, but he gets nothing done. And it was Havoc and Nami we're kind of looking at with the armor situation. Doesn't matter. But there you go. You see how quickly Nami's taken down by that. And it sure didn't help Havoc either as he missed his shots. So 10-9. NASR just get really kicked in a delicate area on that round. I mean, the whole situation with the armor didn't really matter until the end. It was just a flat-out push towards B. Great flashbang usage from NOM. Catches them off guard. They win the opening duel. A player was full flashed inside a Molotov, so had no idea what was going on. He didn't know what time of week it was. And yeah, I think just overall well played by NOM on the aggression. The problem for NASR, obviously small details like the armor. They left themselves in a position where they were very exposed to the flashbangs, trying the aggressive hold towards Banana. But not even a fully aggressive. It's like halfway there, right? You're playing sandbags and one on the corner. The whole idea is that the sandbags player can cover if they start to push up, so the player on the corner isn't completely left alone. But that's obviously not what went down. It's a little bit awkward. Oh, Caster Command says I'm Jay. I'm not Jay. I'm Mitch. Hi guys. What's up? What's good, my dudes? Yeah, we'll get that fixed. I didn't bother today because why not? So NASR falling behind on that round. It's a little bit of an awkward one because realistically now NOM have the opportunity to build this up and really make this a doable run for them, and even claim the lead. Well, but not too easily actually, because NASR only half invest into this. They've taken armor, they've taken util, but they haven't fully invested to save over the money for the next round so they can get a full buy. Smoke goes down. Havoc swinging out. Finds himself Bew. Okay, AK retrieved. Now the A side defense is pretty stacked. But the problem is, you're not going to see too much towards A. It's a B hit. Kit Kat spamming through the smoke. Lands himself Nerds. 5v3. All they have to do is play this together. They can take a retake pretty convincingly. Boosting the MP9 up on top is an interesting call. The AK was on the way. Smoke would still be down. But alright. Slowing it on in. Havoc's getting a little bit of danger. So you want to save this AK over if you're not going to be winning the round, but it's already a 3v1. And towards the back of Banana, Inferno is getting nothing. In the close left corner, he's eliminated. Breaker having a hell of a round with the AK he picked up, and Havoc obviously opening it up with a 5-7 on the A side over towards the apartments, and then finishing off one of the players on site. I feel like that was just really, really well played by NASR. And again, they're recovering a little bit. I think there was a little bit of a staggered attack. They're probably going to expect... You think about it. They've gotten on the bomb site. They've planted the bomb. You're boosting up on top. CT is smoked off, so they're not going to be checking CT aggressively. But they have banana control, and they have control over towards construction. There's nowhere for the site players to look except at that smoke and look for a boost. So they're ready for you. They've got AKs, and you've got MP9s. There's literally no way that you win that fight. Like, because if the bomb's planted, they've already cleared dark and such, so they're not going to have their backs turned. And even if you do get the first shot, you probably die! The spray down is huge from Havoc. The positioning, again, this man has such heavy impact early round for the CT side towards the A bomb side, this time on short instead of apartments. Bew's head is spotted. Oh, he doesn't get the 4K. That would have been a beautiful ace potential. They know now there's one towards long. Surely NOM don't come back into this round. Havoc's going to be saying, what more can I do? As the bomb's going to go down, and it's a 3 versus 2. You don't want to see NOM coming through with a victory here, really. It would just be soul-crushing for NASR. Look at the position for Bew. One tap and a spray down directly afterwards. This is a crushing defeat in the round. Havoc's got to be smashing the desk. 3 kills on the board, and they only get 3 kills in the round. 11-10. NASR. I mean, they had that round in the bag, and it's stolen by a beautiful positioning from Bew. KitKat not lasting long on the bomb site. 10-11. NOM swinging into it after what was a terrible start. They were down 10-2 at one stage. The fact that they've managed to pull it back to here is probably more than we expect, definitely more than what we expected from them, especially with how they were playing early on. And especially because NASR suffered so heavily on overpass, their map pick on the T side, where you would imagine their T side would be the best out of these three maps. Well, maybe does two, but out of these two maps, Inferno and overpass. And yet, somehow, some way, the map that looks so good for NASR in general, 4 out of 4 wins, even taking down the Indonesian giants of boot. The map has been pulled back by NOM. A new team, a fresh lineup, 5 maps under their belt as we come into 6 maps under their belt as we come into this, I think. The push towards the bomb site sees flashbangs going over. The pit player, Havoc, wasn't checking it this time, so he's eliminated. Spams through the smoke, but Inferno's running around the bomb site all alone. Nobody's able to trade. Molotov towards the back. Breaker's in a little bit of danger. He's trapped in a corner. Not really much he can do, but KitKat's there to support a little bit and take down one on long. The spam on the Nerds takes him down super low, and the bomb's still over to war. What's happening here? The bomb has pushed all by himself over towards Graveyard, leaving it into a 2 versus 1 flank coming up on short as well. Nerds surely does. Oh no, the spray down missed by Kazoo completely. Bomb now retrieved. Nerds catches the kill. Kazoo suffers so heavily for missing those shots. And now it's a 1v1. KitKat's going to be coming in through apartments. 21 HP on the board. But he's caught the angle. Nerds wasn't checking and he had too much to worry about, and so he's dropped. Even still, though, that round was very, very close. Even in the 2v1 towards the end. NASR just about managed to pull it back, though. With 12 on the board, will this be where they walk home with it? Well, it may not be a walk, may not be a stroll. It might be more of a trudge, because they come into this round with an SMG in play, 2 FAMAS as well. So 2 SMGs, they've got a UMP and an MP9. Whereas NOM are looking fine for economy. They've got AKs, they've got util, everything they could possibly want to work with, they'll be working with. NOM group up towards Banana early on with Bu sitting on the balcony. He's dropping a bit of utility towards the A bomb site, trying to pull off a little bit of a fake and drag rotations. NASR not yet falling for it. They're committing towards the B bomb site, boosting a player up, and now the util comes in. This is going to be a very evident B push, but even though NASR have left their players there, will they be able to find the kills? They don't expect Nami to be here boosted up. He only finds 1 for it, though. Although the damage is done to Zenser, which could make this retake a little bit easier in the 3v3. They go in for the peek on the back of a flashbang. KitKat goes through. The damage is done, but not fully. Zenser left on 9 HP, even after being lit up earlier on. Havoc's caught in the open with a nade in hand, and it's all on the Breaker, really. He's the only unknown player, but as he peeks out, the element of surprise isn't enough as he's caught off guard by Bu watching the angle. And now with an MP9 to play with, Havoc is not going to be able to walk away with this round, as you'd expect. The swing towards Banana grants him 1, but nothing past that. And with the scoreline now 12-11, look, it's getting hard to call a winner, but I'm still going to side with NOM. They definitely do look like a little bit more dominant, I suppose, all things considered. And so far, look, although the score is close, I think this should have been over by now. With the scoreline that NASR found themselves at, it could have been a very, very easy victory for them earlier on, and yet we've seen NOM just go through it round by round, winning out on their T side, winning out the last couple. I mean, they found the last 3 on their CT as well to bring them up to a 10-5 scoreline. But taking the pistol round, taking it up against the first buy round, that's been back and forth since then. But rounds going back and forth, the thing about it is, it favors the T side a little bit more. They don't get punished nearly as much by winning one and losing one directly afterwards as the counter-terrorists do. The only problem with it is that because the CTs had already built up a loss bonus, that they're now in a little bit of a better position. and that they don't go down to that round 1 reset. Early aggression from Nami isn't going to be rewarded this time, unfortunately, as he goes down towards middle to try and catch them off coming in through apartments. Hydrez comes around and takes Havoc out, and the pistols in play for NASR aren't going to be getting any rewards whatsoever. NOM walking away with this round cleanly for now. The nade to go through should deal significant damage to Kit. Well, evidently not. He has only taken 3 HP damage from that nade, so definitely not what I would call significant. Peek comes out from Bew. They expected. Kazoo knows he was there because he dropped a flashbang, but even still not able to walk away with the kill. Leaves it all onto Kit Kat. I don't think he's going to be finding any kills. As a headshot's going to be connected onto, what was it, Nerds? Yeah, down to like 16 HP. But end of the day, walking away with the victory is all that he really wants. And we have seen a real drop in performance from Nami versus what we saw over on Dust 2. It's kind of expected in a way, like they're playing much tighter Counter-Strike now, especially on their CT side. He can't get nearly as aggressive as he was before. But he's like 1 for 4 in opening duels by my count. Which is not really where you want to be. Think back to the last couple of CT rounds on Dust 2, where we were like, every single round was opened up by either Nami or Breaker. Kazoo finds one and quickly traded back. Kit Kat's there to get some damage done. Over to... Okay. I was going to say, over towards B should look a little bit weaker now for the CTs, but the swing in from Breaker, granting that double kill, actually pulls it back into a position that's definitely workable. With Nami holding the cross with the AWP over towards B, and Havoc maintaining the information that A is clear, Nami should be on edge and ready for this push to come through at any moment. In a couple seconds, he's going to start to have to... Never mind. He's going to have to start worrying about CT spawn, but that's not the case, as he spots out the player on the bomb site, catches the leg, and quickly finishes him with the USP. This time, not going for a no-scope to finish up his tagged opponent, thankfully. The range was a little bit too much for that. And so, as we come through to what could be the end, I suppose, more or less, with NASR having a secure economy now, buying into this round will be... sorry, no, they don't have a secure economy at all. What am I talking about? They lost pretty much all their players in the previous round. It leaves them into having a force buy up here with a couple SMGs. The FAMAS is making an appearance. And the problem there is that utility, if you're taking the FAMAS out, the utility and kits are going to be pretty scarce too. Drop goes over for an AUG. You're going to see Kit Kat and Kazoo getting FAMAS dropped over to them. Or Kazoo's not. He's going to have to buy his own. Or Kit Kat's going to buy his own. One of them's going to have to buy their own. They decide. And they decide it's Kit Kat. So util's still going to be pretty high up. That's why Kit Kat took the UMP. So we can still afford it. Taking out the calculators a little bit to make sure that they get maximum utility in play. Because Inferno was a map that really does require util to play. You know, you can run down so much time with those smokes. Very quick aggression over towards the B bomb site. I can't even switch to people and they're already dead. As Zenser goes down straight away. Breaker takes one with a nade. What is going on there is we're into a 5 versus 3. NOM half commit towards a B rush, but they leave 2 players towards the bottom of Banana and 1 towards A. Now 1 towards A is fine. B would have been cutting off the rotations and maybe selling a late fake, but he sold late fakes before, but they didn't go nearly as aggressive towards Banana. Sending 2 towards top is just a little bit too much for my... too thick for my blood. Nami holding down towards the balcony should spot this player out. Indeed he does. Bew's taken down. Not only is the information given, but the kill. And again, they don't get anything for it. It's not like NASR have rotated players towards the A-bomb side on the back of seeing one guy peek towards apartments. So NOM just lose 1 player for nothing. Flash goes down just to try and delay a little bit further, give away information that there's a player here aware of this angle, make NOM a little bit more cautious of pushing through. Now the peek coming up from Kit Kat. Oh no, the shot rings out for Kazoo. They know he's there now, but it doesn't matter because Kit Kat's able to swing out and find them. I envision that going differently with Kit Kat baiting them into the site. And then, of course, Kazoo was up on top, catching them off with the UMP, but they do it the opposite way around, and it works just as well. On 14-12 now. NASR on the verge of closing this out after what was a very shaky start. On the CT side, I think it's fair to say they definitely underperformed versus the scoreline, they were, like I said, up 10-2 at one point, and yet we've seen NOM be able to bring it back to right here and right now. What is the scoreline that I don't think is fair to see coming through? And as the timer runs to a close on the timeout, NOM have decided they want to go in for just a couple of pistols. They've got a lot of money left in the bank for the next round, but they're going to be playing for an overtime. I agree with the call, but it's still not a great spot to play from. They're going to look to at least get a bomb plant here and deal as much damage as possible to the CT side, because that economy is not immortal just yet. They can still deal quite a bit of damage, push them down to an eco at some point. Maybe even in the next round, if they do enough. Nami and Havoc are both pretty low on money. They'd have no loss bonus built up, I think. Over towards the bomb site, the push comes in very quickly. We're going to see lots of kills going down for the CT side, which doesn't feed very well into our narration of it being an eco for NASR in the next round. As Inferno comes around, P250 in hand, picks up an AK-47, and best to save this, I think. He's hoping he'll maybe catch the player coming from B up behind him, or indeed them trying to get a little bit aggressive on long. Clearly not the case. As the smoke goes down, indicating that he's still here, he's going to creep around and, again, try to get more kills. That's the objective. If he can find a couple more, like 3 kills in this round, it keeps NASR modest. If he brings it to a 1v1 in the end, that would be huge for him, giving NASR a very fragile buy for the next round. Remember, they're fighting for overtime, so they need to take every advantage they can get from now on. Making his way over towards short. Spots one in the pit, but he's going to be flanked out in the end. And almost knifed. Kid Cat's thinking about it. He wants to do it. He's going to do it. Oh no. How many knives have we seen today? Just in this game alone. They've been so disrespectful. It was Bew over on Dust. We've seen it from Kid Cat here. I think we also saw one on Overpass earlier on. Towards the start of the game. And now on 15-12. This is where NASR can definitely close it out. They've got the potential. The possibilities are definitely there for the CT side to finish this off. Let's see if they can do it. As they started out with a bit of aggression towards Banana, shaking it up a little bit, making sure they're not going to be all too predictable. NOM are focusing somewhat more towards A. They've got 3 players there with the bomb sitting outside it as well, but low HP on Nertz and Bew already doesn't spell out too well for them. With only a couple nades left, though, NASR are pretty low on utility late on. They've pushed all the way down Banana, but their players are kind of stuck here at this point. You're not going to see Kazoo moving out of there until they get a fight, and Kid Cat's waiting for a flashbang to go down, as NOM will have to retake, or indeed for Kazoo to take contact. There's the flashbang, so now the peak can definitely come down from Kid Cat. Although Kazoo goes down very early, Kid Cat has the potential to line up a couple of them. Not able to land it, bringing it down to a 3v3 at least, as Breaker's going to just push through the smoke like a madman! He only picks up 1. It could have been dangerous. That could have been the end, but now it's going to have to be a retake, and so the advantage swings over towards NOM. One player heard reloading over towards Coffin, so Havoc has that information in his back pocket. Nami's already rotating in with the AWP. The smoke is about to dissipate, leaving him the opportunity to find a couple of kills, perhaps. Maybe spot out some information as they push forward, though. A player in the pit. Oh, Bew spotted over towards Dark. Now it's really Zenser that's the unknown quantity. They have no idea where he is. And normally you assume a player will be towards Banana. This doesn't look like it's going to be over just yet, though, because as Nami falls, we're going to see 15-13 develop, and NOM close in on the overtime scoreline. There should still be a full buy coming through from NASR, though. I think they have enough money to spread it around. You can see Breaker started this round out with 9K. No, Kit Kat started out with 9K. Breaker started on like 8.5. 8,550. Close enough. Close enough. So dropping over the weapons to allow armor and utility to come through from their teammates grants NASR the opportunity to once again fight for this. But this will be their last full buy before an overtime comes through. Or indeed, they'll have to take a force buy in the next round if they lose here. The shots connected by Kit Kat. He's down to 23, and so too is Kazoo down below on 17. But even still, with 2 players low HP, it is a man advantage to work with on the CT side. And NOM now refocusing themselves towards the A-bomb site. Rotation coming through from Kazoo. He'll play long, which isn't really the ideal spot for him, considering he's so low. Nami on an AWP, trying to peek towards short, and he's actually going to just walk on up here. This is so aggressive. It pays off as he takes Bew down. Nobody's there to trade back. He's still holding that angle with the AWP until he's smoked off, forced to take a different position. Player in pit, though, should be able to get some damage done with the flashbang going through from his team. Oh, it's actually one of the T's. They flashed themselves. It's all onto Inferno. He's got to pull it off with the AWP. Nami's going to go for it. I thought it was going to be a no-scope, but he's not. Oh, he's not hitting anything. Maybe he should no-scope. Eventually connects it, though, in through the hay bales, and that's going to be the end of that, 16-13. And we finish things off there with what was definitely an interesting series. NASR managed to pull off the reverse sweep and take it in the end. And I don't think that's something that a lot of people would have called. I think certainly looking at map number 1, it looked like NASR were going to get demolished 2-0. I certainly thought so, but they have come back into it. They've fixed their issues. They've taken a long, hard look at themselves in the mirror and thought, how were we losing this? Why were we losing it? And at the end of the day, they just stopped overthinking it. I think that's one thing you can definitely take away from this, that NASR coming into this, they were maybe nervous. I mean, it is certainly a road to the major, so it's a pretty big deal. And maybe just coming in, overthinking their opponents, treating them a little bit too professionally, too seriously, and not playing their own game on a more comfortable front. You could see they were very staggered. They weren't pushing together. But now that's changed completely. And Kit Kat, what a performance in that game. 29 kills as he finished things off there with 114-80 or. Although Nami had a slow game, they still managed to walk away with the victory and a pretty positive result all around for NASR as they now move on forward. That is the end of the stream for today, though, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the games. We're going to throw things to one final commercial break, and we will be back tomorrow for more games. So be sure to stay tuned, drop a follow on the channel if you want to catch further games in the minor qualifiers for StarLadder. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Catch you later.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.